Okay, hello everybody. Hang on just 1 second, okay? Just 1 second. Notice the date on this, but the hour is about an hour and 8 minutes ahead of time. Hang on. Because this phone fell out of contract before daylight savings time kicked in. So it's about, hang on. I'd say it's about 9, oop. Turn it back on. I'd say it's about 9. I'm getting over a chest cold and it's a bad one. I'd say it's right now the time's about 9:19 a.m. Now this phone fell out of service contract before daylight savings time kicked in. Now you'll understand why I'm showing you the phone in about 1 minute. So just hold on. Let me clear my throat here real fast. I've been congested for 3 weeks, and I'll talk about that briefly for a second if I remember to in this video as well. Now, fellow American citizens, just bear with me for a second. I know that you're saying, what's going on with this video? Alright, now what I'm going to do before I begin to talk, okay, is I'm going to go to a feature within the menu called the Tools feature. Once you select on that, you can enable the voice command feature within it. That in turn allows the phone to state the date electronically and the time. It's the date I want you to pay attention to. I'll prove the time on another cell phone in a second. Okay, so listen.
Say a command.
Okay, so I'm going to scroll down to time and date.
May 30th, Saturday, 10:28 a.m.
Okay.
Say a command.
Now, as you can see by this phone, it's only 9:34 a.m. Okay, and I'll show you the date on the calendar on this phone as well. Now, just bear with me. Now, I got a running recording tape recorder recording my statements right now. So I'm gonna have to, do this again.
Say a command.
So I can use a backup strategy, a safe for the tape recorder. Hold on.
May 30th, Saturday, 10:29 a.m.
Okay, now I'm aware this video got a little bit a slow start to it. My name is Leslie Williams. Go to Google right now. Please go to Google right now and type in organized stalking, gang stalking, and how they will track a target cell phone and use it as a GPS tracker so the propped up staged events and the staged incidences and the staged harassment can happen towards a target as a result of the target individual's phone being used as a GPS tracker. I just noticed one right here. Let's see. This one right here. Now, basically, so just go to Google and type in organized stalking and cell phone tracking, and then in a separate search, gang stalking and cell phone tracking. Okay, and you'll clearly be able to witness that that is one of the gang stalking perpetrators' techniques that they use in order to be able to ascertain where a target's at, how long they've been there, okay, where and I'm talking about where they're at, whether they're stationary or if they're mobile. Okay, now hold on 1 second, okay? Let me pop this camera up so you can see me, and I apologize for the way I look. Now, I gotta make this statement as a result of being a gang stalking target as well. That statement being, if anybody approaches me at this area claiming that they saw me, heard me, or saw my property, no matter who it is, no matter how they act, no matter what they say, no matter what transpires or results, it'll be nothing but gang stalking. And they will literally even use children. Literally. Now, again, I do apologize for the way I look. I got a very bad cold. It started about 3 weeks ago, and I've had to move 3 times since the midweek, the first week of May. I had to move in the middle of that week. Okay, 3 times. This is the 3rd place I've had to move to. Now, I'm going to prove to you indisputably that I am a victim of this organized stalking, gang stalking crime, and it's nothing but organized crime in the system at every level: federal, state, county, and town. Hold on. Now, as a result of me having to move 3 times since the mid-portion of the 1st week of May, I had to leave my cough syrup at another area. So that's the reason why I'm still congested. Now, Fellow American citizens, my name is Leslie Williams. As a result of being a organized stalking, gang stalking target, I am a human trafficking target. Now, one target individual can be picked for several different criminal motivations concerning why they're being picked. In other words, I can be a victim of illegal syndicated probate control for racketeering, insurance fraud, and human trafficking and voyeurism. I can be a victim of that, included with identity theft. This is organized crime in the system using their employment descriptions to achieve their objectives. Now, these are just some of the criminal motivations that they have for a target. But make no mistake about it, the way that they achieve these criminal motivations, is through schemes. I guess the schemes and the criminal motivations can be considered as the same thing, but in order to be able to bring about, let me just put it to you this way, the illegal syndicated probate control so the target can be used for racketeering purposes, insurance fraud, and human trafficking inside of a syndicated run group home that is directly connected to the organized crime group that is perpetrating the gang stalking. Now just bear with me and you'll understand what I mean in a second. Now, before I started making this video, I just got done doing some things, and so I'm going to be smoking while I'm making this video because I wasn't smoking when I was doing what I was doing, and so now that I'm done with what I'm doing, I'm having my cigarette, so I do apologize for smoking. Anyway, so hold on. Now, I think it's important that you be able to see really who I am, so I'm going to take off my hat here for a second. Hello. Alright, so, back to what I'm doing. Now, fellow American citizens, I've been on national radio shows, exposing what is happening to me on at least 2 occasions. I've been on this national radio show at least 7 times, but twice I was on it exposing being gang stalked. Excuse me. Now you can go to Google and type in UCSD and Law Library, are they networking gang stalking? 3 of the copied and pasted links showing me being on the Ground Zero show with Clyde Lewis will indisputably prove to you that I have exposed that I am a victim of this crime. The very first time I was on it exposing that I'm an organized stalking target is not included in that, but the 9/17/13 broadcast is telling you, is clearly showing that I'm exposing that I'm a gang stalking victim in San Diego and how, and in part how I'm being harassed. Now I'm going to get right into the purpose of this video so you can see what can be, happening to a specific targeted individual that they made homeless. Go to Google and type in property owners and gang stalking. The best way to research this crime is by taking each description I state, like when I say police and gang stalking, universities and gang stalking, public libraries and gang stalking. Research it by organized stalking first, per description. Then take the descriptions and cross-reference them to gang stalking in separate searches. It's the best way to investigate this crime. You make sure you investigate thoroughly everything that comes up per description, okay, and then cross-reference the information, synthesize it together, and you will end up with a holistic pictorial representation pertaining to what is happening to organized stalking, gang stalking targeted individuals by complete strangers who we do not know, even though they will infiltrate our life through, but not limited to, respectable environments like churches, charities, self-help groups, you name it, homeless shelters, social services, anywhere that you would normally meet somebody, okay, and then become acquainted with them, and then friendships would develop. They are within these types of environments. Make no mistake about it, and do not underestimate my statements, please. Because part of the reason why I make my videos is to educate, is to inform, to educate, so you can research these criminal realities, so you can make informed decisions to protect yourself, your loved ones, and your property. Absolutely. So, just bear with me one more second. I'll start getting into the meat and potatoes, and trust me, stay with this video. Because what I'm going to be doing is just exposing one aspect of this criminality concerning what they could be doing to me, And I'm only saying that carefully because the organized crime syndicated run police officers that are directly connected to these crimes will take anything you say, and the prosecutors and the doctors they're connected to. You'll understand that in a few minutes. They will take anything you say and use it against you to make it appear that you're paranoid, schizophrenic, bipolar, mentally, that you suffer from any kind or every kind of mental disorder, okay, as a result of what you're saying, even though everything you're saying is the absolute, literal, complete truth. And they know it's the truth. But using these types of, using doctors and judges and prosecutors and lawyers against you is how they get the syndicated probate control. Hold on. Now, when you look at what probate control is when either the state and or a state-appointed guardian will take probate control of a person by the courts claiming that a person cannot take care of themselves because of a mental illness or because they're a threat to themselves or others or whatever, or a destructive lifestyle that they're claiming the target's leading, okay? They will literally do this because, see, what you gotta understand is these people who are in this system are using the system to achieve their criminal motivations. So therefore, they know how the system operates, so they're able then to commit the crime, protect it, and then make sure that the target gets trapped within it. To give you a good illustration of this, go to Google right now and type in California Family Coalition, Jan, J-A-N, Goldsmith, family sued for racketeering. Now, Jan Goldsmith is the head San Diego prosecutor right now. He's being sued by the California Family Coalition because it strongly appears, well, he's being implicated in this lawsuit for racketeering using the divorce child custody court realm, okay, to engage in racketeering. Even and when you research that, you're gonna absolutely be able to see that judges are used, prosecutors are used, and court psychologists are being used. Okay, make sure that you meticulously pick apart what's going on in that situation, because I was already all over the internet exposing these filthy red-ass animal whores, because they're not only doing this to women, single women, people on disability, the elderly, even single fathers, single mothers, veterans. They're doing this to people that have fixed income, including public workers that are about to retire. Okay, hold on. See, because what you gotta understand here is that these groups, whenever they have a group home and the foster care homes, they own those as well. Because if a single mother that they're targeting, they try to get her involved in prostitution or drugs. Okay, and then once they get her involved in that, they'll use that as a normal apparent excuse to take away the child, so the child can be set up in foster care and treated as a straw person for federal, state, and local funds. Absolutely. And then they'll continue to make money off the mother, and eventually even also put her in a group home by claiming that she can't take care of herself because she's involved in prostitution, when they'll do nothing but use her as a straw person for the same aforementioned criminal motivations, but they'll also human traffic her in these group homes. And to give you a sidebar illustration concerning how easy it is to human traffic a person in a group home, watch the movie Taken. The movie, I think there's 3 movies concerning the Taken series. Okay, there's Taken 2, and I think they just recently came out with Taken 3. Let me check the batteries. Okay, the movie Eden, E-D-E-N, okay, and the movie Trade. In all of these movies, what do you notice about the individuals who are being human trafficked? They're being drugged. Okay? Absolutely, because they don't give 2 shits if the target's conscious or not. In fact, they prefer the target not to be conscious, because then the target will know what's happening to them and can run to a neighbor. Absolutely. Even though neighbors can be involved in gang stalking as well. Go to YouTube and type in gang stalking bullying on steroids. You'll see that targeted individual flat out exposing his neighbors being involved in the gang stalking of him on a news broadcast. So, gang stalking is not stalking by gangs, even though they can use at times when needed a gang member. Okay? It's organized crime in the system, and you better be darn sure the police are connected to these criminal realities. Absolutely. Google gang stalking. Google organized stalking in police, organized stalking in doctors, organized stalking in fire department personnel, including their EMS services. In fact, you can just go to Google and type in organized stalking in regular EMS services as well. Organized stalking in psychologists, psychiatrists, doctors, judges, lawyers, police officers, fire department personnel, pastors at churches, social services workers. In fact, Alex Jones did a show on, I believe it was May 12th. No, wait a minute, I'm sorry, March 12th. No, wait a minute, it's May 12th, I believe. And he was flat out discussing about how child protective services are being used in Atlanta for pedophile rings. Absolutely. And about how a woman is on there literally stating that churches are involved in this shit as well. And I already knew that. All you gotta do is go to Google and type in organized stalking in churches, gang stalking in churches. Because they can't have, look, when they make the target homeless, they know that the target, okay, they know that the target knows that they've already been victimized. So the target is well enough aware to know to try their best to stay away from anybody who's already possibly infiltrated their lives and has been at least suspected to be involved in what's happening to them, whether they're aware that what's happening to them at this time yet is gang stalking or not. Okay? So what they know about the target psychology is that the target is going to want to stay safe. So they'll run to social services, they'll run to churches, they'll run to Salvation Army. Well, Google all these terms and cross-reference it to organized stalking. Google Goodwill in organized stalking. Okay, hold on. I was sexually exploited by a Salvation Army worker in Dearborn Heights, Michigan, who was a retired firefighter. As a result of me having to depend on the Salvation Army, trying to depend on the Salvation Army, concerning surviving that crime in Michigan, because social services workers were keeping my food stamp benefits away from me intentionally. Hold on. And I had no doubt in my mind at all, in the next 6 months to a year, they're going to take me off of social services and probably Social Security. Because it's easier to reorientate a person physically to places that they can absolutely control, influence, and for documentation purposes, that documentation being used for the eventual syndicated probate control, that has no money, nothing to eat with, you know, nothing to eat. So, fellow American citizens, go to Google and type in organized stalking and gang stalking and how they create homelessness of a target. If you type that in right now, you will literally in your face see that that is one of their main, it's all over the internet, that is one of their main methodologies that they bring about against the organized stalking, gang stalking target. Now, when you go to Google and type this in, research the blogs that come up. Every single true bona fide target individual that's online, and the reason why I say it that way is because there are perpetrators that are online pretending to be targets. So be very careful about what you read. And there's a lot of disinformation intentionally that has been put on the internet to confuse the public about gang stalking. The word gang stalking was literally created by the government in order to confuse the issue concerning what organized stalking really is. Okay, they want the public to believe that this is stalking by gangs. It's in order to make so the public will never attempt to try to help a target in any way, because most people just want to be left alone. They don't want criminality touching their houses, their family, their loved ones, or their property, which is completely understandable as well. Okay, but the point being though is that as soon as you hear the word gang, what do you think of? As soon as you hear the word stalking, what do you think of? Well, you combine those two negative meaning words together, and it's going to automatically entice danger in your mind. And that's what they wanted. Absolutely. Okay. Now, what they do is basically create homelessness of a target and use that to assist them, okay, in the eventual criminal motivation in reference to achieving it, by making sure that the target remains homeless long enough so they can make it appear on paperwork that the target has a long chronic history of being homeless. Therefore, that target cannot take care of themselves. Absolutely. Make no mistake about it, because remember what I have already aforementioned, that to get the syndicated probate control, they have to make it look legal. And this is how they operate. When you look at how criminals are in the system, they know how the system operates. What they can then do, how to bring it about, while making it look all justified. Do you understand? So, go to Google and type in group homes and gang stalking. Remember what I said though, everything needs to be searched first by organized stalking, okay? So I just say gang stalking because I'm used to saying it. So go to Google and type in organized stalking group homes, organized stalking foster care homes, okay? Organized stalking churches, charities, self-help groups, Salvation Army included, Goodwill Industries included, domestic violence shelters, homeless shelters, absolutely, because these perpetrators know that the target is gonna want to survive on their own, because they know enough yet to know what's happening to them is being done intentionally, creatively, covertly managed. Even before I knew that what was happening to me was gang stalking, I could clearly see that the only way that this could be achieved was through the system. I learned that over time, undeniably, but I strongly started suspecting it incrementally. And then when the police started filing falsified police reports, I knew it. Because there ain't no one or two little gang members, that's the wrong word to use. There's not one or two individuals that are even in the system that could use the entire system if the whole system wasn't involved in it. Do you understand? So, what they do, you can go to, so when you type in at Google gang stalking and property owners, gang stalking and landlords, gang stalking and postal employees, gang stalking, mail theft and mail delayment, because that's how they make the homelessness, and that is how they created the homelessness of me. They literally stole my rent out of the mail that was mailed, certified mail return receipt. It's a syndicate that works together using their employment descriptions to achieve their objectives, okay? And they're also using their employment descriptions to influence places that they might not even have a syndicate member in. Absolutely. Because of the clever techniques that they use in order to influence people to do things for them based on the prestige of their employment description, like a police officer, okay, a detective, a FBI agent, and the combined fake bogus criminal investigation file they create about the target combined with slander. Go to YouTube and type in "listen to a stranger." That is literally a visual representation for you to witness concerning part of the techniques of gang stalking. Okay, how they can get anybody to do anything for them based on a lie, a badge, and a badge. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now, before I make my statements concerning what this video is about, and this video does apply for the next year, and it doesn't matter if it happens today, tomorrow, 32 days from now, 91 days from now, any day in between, or any day after, up to those 6 months. Because because remembering this just for a second, remember how I said that they got to prove a long history, a chronic history of homelessness? Well, if they come at me at one hiking area and then wait 6 months and come after me again at the next one, that is because what they're doing is try to show on paper a long history of homelessness. And they got to have it documented how long this history is by staging events once every 3 months, 6 months, sometimes 2 weeks, whatever. And then what they do, this is where the police reports, like say if a target is camping in a park, they'll use park rangers. This is where the police reports, any type of law enforcement report they will use concerning where a target's living at, whether it be a staged event that happens out in the community, and then the police officer will creatively ask the target where they're living at while the target's distracted, and the emotional results of that specific incident. Okay, because what they're doing is making police reports about the target's mental stability, about their living situation, so they can then use all this documentation over time to get the syndicated probate control. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's how they do it. How do you think that Cole Stewart, I think is his name, from California Family Coalition, who's went through hundreds of thousands of dollars going after the San Diego divorce industry, because they're using it to get so the state can make money off of the the state psychologists, the prosecutors, and so on and so forth are making tons of money off of the divorce industry when it comes to child custody. So make sure that you go back to Google and type in Jan, J-A-N, Goldsmith, San Diego prosecutor, California Family Coalition, racketeering lawsuit. Type that in at Google. And you'll see that his little criminal ass is already involved in organized crime. He is the head San Diego prosecutor in San Diego. He's a criminal. And that's all he is, period. Now, fellow American citizens, they create the homelessness to exploit it, to exploit the target. Everything they bring about against the target is incrementally implemented over time. So they're going to try to show a long history of supposed mental illness, chronic homelessness, and they'll even stage assaults and things that will provoke an assault. Like they definitely try to provoke a target to act out. So what I'm going to do right now is check the batteries on this video camera. Now the light's already flashing, but I should be good for at least another 20 minutes. But if this video stops while I'm in the middle of talking, make sure you still investigate every syllable that I've stated in this video. If I'm arrested for IL, ticketed for same, okay, in the next 6 months at any area, it'll be nothing but gang stalking related, period. And that's the reason why I showed a video picture of my cell phone at the beginning of this video file, because I'm isolating these verbal predictions in space and time. Also on my tape recorder as well. Do you understand? Because if they do what I predict after I predict it, it'll show I'm being tracked from one place to another using my cell phone as a GPS tracker. Now let me give you a case in point here concerning one of the clever techniques of gang stalking. What they'll do through the illegal criminal tracking of a target cell phone, using it as a GPS tracker, what they'll do after they create homelessness of a target, and they'll even engage in cyber surveillance, which means that they have watched all my YouTube videos, okay? They've even sent me text messages stating that they're hacking into my blogs and YouTube videos, okay? So what they'll do is, so through the cyber surveillance, they see that I'm making videos about moving property to different areas in order to be able to play a shell game to prove that they're stalking me from camping area to camping area to camping area to camping area. Case in point, I want you to listen very closely to this. This is me. This is a 15-second long Instagram video, because Instagram only allows you to make 15-second long videos. But the 15-second audio of this video came from my tape recorder. I was at another hiking area, okay, on May 10th, 2015, not even 2 weeks ago, because today's, well, it's May 30th now, so it's 20 days ago. I was at a specific spot, packing up my duffel bag, okay, and I was going over to get my bike that was locked up at a separate location close by the area, very close by. So I made a statement in my tape recorder, I'm getting ready to go over to get my bike. Let's see if any problems happen towards me physically. I said, let's see if my bike is gone or anything's wrong with it, including today, let's see if it's gone or anything wrong with it, because it's locked up about 150 feet away right now. We're also gonna, and I said, let's also see if anybody says gang stalk or oh my god, because that's one of the ways that they're intentionally letting me know that I'm being gang stalked and to mentally harass me about it, is by propping people up around me to literally say the name of the crime that's happening to me. Now I'm going to prove that as well in this video. This recording that you're about ready to hear right now is me being at that other area that I was calling, I believe it was RR Colony 5-1D. I think that's what I was calling it. I code word my hiking locations, and I do that so whenever something I predict comes true, I can say, look, I predicted that it would happen at this location, because once I open up what the coded notation means, it proves the geographical area. So I'm making a statement in my tape recorder as I'm preparing to walk over to my bike, and then the same audio file is still running as I'm walking over to my bike. Let's see if these things are set around me. Now, I want you to listen closely to this. This is me saying, I just heard a guy say gang stalk, and as soon as I shut my mouth, you'll hear him say it. You gotta listen carefully though, listen. I was caught on May 10th, 2015 at RR Colony 5-1D. Listen. Okay, and then I said he just said it again. Okay, I'm gonna play it one more time. Okay, as soon as I say he just said gang stalk, it's said, so listen carefully. SD. Listen. And then he just said it again. Okay? Now, to prove you indisputably that this crime is happening to me and concerning how they're mentally letting me know. See, one of the ways that they intentionally let you know that you're being gang stalked, because what they're after is to put you in a victimized mindset while all this is going on. Okay? And the way that they do that is by subjecting you to things that they have sensitized you to. So go to Google and type in organized stalking or gang stalking and sensitization methods, and how they will sensitize a target to, but not limited to, sounds, words, phrases, physical gestures, colors. Okay, I didn't invent their methods. I'm exposing them, and what I'm exposing is all over the internet. All over the internet, to be directly connected to what gang stalking perpetrators do. They're called sensitization techniques. So what they'll do is sensitize a target to a word or phrase, a physical gesture, a sound, and more, and then just use different duped community members, mostly, to get around the target as a result of illegally using the target's cell phone as a GPS tracker so they know where the target's at, to prop these people up around the target to say these things, the words and phrases that they had the target sensitized to. It's their intentional way to let the target know that they're being gang stalked. Now, when you look at that YouTube video, Gang Stalking Bullying on Steroids, you'll flat out see that they stalked this guy to his own home and even got on his roof. If you go to Google and type in how they will rent apartments next to a target, and or how they will solicit current tenants that are renting apartments above, below, or next to a target to have them, okay, engage in gang stalking activities as well. What you got to understand here is what they're doing. You can clearly then see on the internet that these individuals will stalk you to where you live, okay, and engage in techniques that are designed to intentionally, mentally let you know that they're there. Stalking of gang stalking, achieved through the illegal tracking of you and your own cell phone. So after they make you homeless, and I'm going to prove it right now again. Now, these guys, these two men right here, one of them was one of at least 3 or 4 men that they literally propped up to hike out 100 feet away from me off of Gilman Road in Gilman Court. Now, when you go to my YouTube videos that are on the internet, hold on a minute. When you go to my YouTube videos online, like when you go to that blog, UCSD and Law Library, Are They Networking Gang Stalking? There's at least 100 videos that I copied and pasted in there. There's several different YouTube accounts dedicated to me exposing this crime. Like Exposing Police 1, the number 1, okay, not O-N-E. Exposing San Diego, okay, Exposing SDPD, Exposing SDPD 1, Exposing SDPD 2, Exposing SDPD 3, Gang Stalking Activist, Assault MTS. These are all separate YouTube channels that you can go to if you want to research my videos. And the ones to look at first are the ones that I've mentioned first. Exposing Police 1, Exposing San Diego, and then all the Exposing SDPDs. You'll clearly be able to see me discussing how I'm being gang stalked to my hiking areas, okay, and what they were doing to me at them. Especially look at the ones from 2013. Now, this individual right here is one of at least 3 to 4 men that they had set up and propped up to hike out 100 feet away from me off of Gilman Court and Gilman Road in La Jolla. Okay, do you hear these 2 men say gang stalk together, then one says gang stalking, then that same one says gang of stalking, I'll fuck you up. Now this occurred on Thanksgiving Day 2013. What I just played you a second ago was May 10th, 2015. Okay, that was in La Jolla, California on Gilman Road. Okay, that's where the event happened. This is me being on a bus in Yucca Valley, California 11 months before, when I left that area where I was hiking at, off of Gilman Road and Gilman Court, okay, directly off of Gilman Road or Gilman Drive and Gilman Court, Okay, there's a park and ride right there, right across the street from the wooded area where I was at. I left that wooded area to go to Yucca Valley for 1 week and then came back to that wooded area. Do you hear a person on the bus, a male, say gang stalk, and then a woman just flat out say gang stalking? Do you hear it again happening at Rouse Grocery Store on May 14, 2015 off of La Jolla Village Square? Okay, this is another one concerning the same date, same place, Rouse Grocery Store. Sorry, that was the same one. Here we go. Now, why am I making this video? I'm making this video not only for prediction purposes and evidence purposes, but I'm also trying to explain to the public concerning the creative methods of gang stalking and how the police can be involved. Hold on a second, I'm having a hard time propping this camera up. Do you really believe that the police do not know why people call them? Of course they do. They know that when somebody has had their house broken into, that they will call the police because someone broke in their house and stole their property. Do you really honestly believe that the police don't know that a person who's been assaulted will not call the police? Do they honestly? I made videos all throughout the entire year 2013, 14, and even 15 stating that what they're going to do is start stealing my property to psychologically bait me to call the police concerning it being stolen. So, fellow American citizens, go to Google and type in police and gang stalking, and that includes park rangers. Okay, of any state. Alright? The point being is this, is that in order to get this documentation that I've already aforementioned for the illegal syndicated probate control, they gotta be able to prop up events so the police can be called. The only way that an event can be propped up to happen around a target concerning a target, okay, is through the illegal GPS tracking of a target's phone. Now let's look at this another way as well. They know that I've made videos online through cyber surveillance stating that I'm setting up different hiking areas in order to play a shell game with them to prove that I'm being stalked from area to area to area to area, which I've already proven in this video alone, okay? But when I was hiking off of Gilman Court and Gilman Road, I literally made videos showing me having bagged up property and stating that I'm making up identical kits. Each kit will be taken to different spots. I said, let's see if anything happens around me, concerning me, about me, or against me or my property. For each one of those times I made a video, because every time that I made the videos, I was preparing to go move a kit to another area. Now, on those days, I was already being gang stalked, which meant that my phones was already being tracked. So they therefore knew where I went to drop off this property at. Now, when on any date, when any target individual might go to an area to rest, to meditate, okay, to maybe just want to be alone, or to go through the property they already have with them, or for any other reason, if you know what I mean, will they already have people propped up there, okay, to create an event, including having homeless men propped up there with the target's property in order to psychologically provoke an event so the police can be called either by the target, the homeless men, or a third party that's staged to be in the area who acts like they hear the event unfolding and then decides to call the police. Go to Google and type in staged events and gang stalking. Street theaters and gang stalking, which is nothing but a slang term that describes staged events. Go to Google and type in staged events, street theaters, and staging witnesses. They'll use a homeless man for the event and then a woman walking her baby for the witness. That way, these are two different types of people. How could a nice, polite woman walking her baby be involved in gang stalking? Yeah. Especially when a wild criminal, skanky homeless man is used. How could those two possibly be connected? Yeah. It's called plausible deniability. The homeless people are easily bought off and paid for because they're homeless and have nothing. They're easily relocated, and the police use it as an easy excuse concerning why they can't be found later because they're homeless. And baiting the target to open up and say, why did you, what's this all about? What's going on? Well, my property got stolen and this homeless guy is using it. Well, what was your property doing here to begin with, Leslie? Are you staying here? If you aren't, but if you are, you can be arrested for camping. So if you're ever caught in the future, we'll arrest you. And we'll have it documented now that it's suspected that you were already at least using this area to hide your property. Hold on a second. See, to psychologically motivate a target or to provoke an event so a third person can call the police is the police's way to get that documentation. The police will even go to your area, okay, by acting like they have a normal appearing reason to be there, steal your property, and then bait you to call them to claim it's yours. So they can have it on documentation that your property was at an area where it shouldn't have been, even by possibly a camping area. Have they already done this? Baiting a target to run to the system is all over the internet to be directly connected to gang stalking. It's even mentioned in the manifesto that a manager of gang stalking crews wrote and put on the internet. Go to Google and type in a gang stalking tech, everything you need to know. But it's not everything you need to know. It was written by a manager of gang stalking. Authors who wrote books and extremely seasoned, educated, experienced target individuals were all over the internet saying that this is a factual manifesto of a manager of gang stalking crews. It flat out states that mincing the meat, where the target is the meat and the system is the mincing, okay, is done through baiting the target to run to the system based on what they're creatively bringing about against the target, like through assaults, staged rapes, staged robberies, staged property thefts, staged incidences. If they set up homeless people to camp out by right at the very spot where I've hid property at or around it, they believe that I'll either try and retrieve the property or an event will transpire or that I'll just give up on the property so it can then be stolen. They'll also even prop up homeless men to camp out around me. Why? So the police can say that I was in the area with criminals, and that they try to place me possibly with them as a result of their cell phones being tracked in the area. So I strongly suggest you go to Google and type in, what's that technology called? I forgot. It's all over the internet. Stingray technology. Absolutely. They're propping up assholes at bus stops. Real low-life looking assholes around me at bus stops. Are they creatively possibly taking pictures of target individuals while they place criminals to stand around them so they can imply that the person is with them? They will do anything and everything. In closing, let me just make this statement. And the reason why I'm making these kinds of statements is because I've read other target individuals' blogs concerning other targets saying that they're doing this to them. So I have to include these statements. I was reading a blog one time written by a lawyer. It had to do, I think, with a lawsuit. Hold on a second, let me get a drink of water. It had to do with a lawsuit. I guess somebody was suing the city about something. I don't know what city it was. And the lawyer was saying, whenever you're en route to go to the courthouse or whatever, don't talk to anybody, because the court and the government will prop up people around you to bait you to say things or even do something in order to discredit you. Absolutely. In fact, when you go to when you go to the Google and type in UCSD and Law Library, are they networking gang stalking? Look at that first video that's right at the very top concerning the San Diego Police Department being exposed. Absolutely. You wouldn't believe it's a 25-minute documentary that Channel 10 did on him. You'll clearly be able to see that Jan Goldsmith, the aforementioned prosecutor I've already talked about, hiring private investigators to stalk a sexual harassment victim. Of a San Diego police officer who just recently got put in prison. So if you don't think that these filthy, they were trying to accuse her of being promiscuous, and therefore they were trying to paint the picture that she asked for the sexual harassment concerning this police officer. He did it in order to try and save the city money, even though he's using hundreds of thousands of dollars right now to target Stuart Cole from the California Family Coalition, taxpayers' dollars, because he's all over the internet exposing him, Jan Goldsmith. Jan Goldsmith is using hundreds of thousands of dollars right now fighting the California Family Coalition of taxpayers' money, fighting the California Families Coalition to protect his ass, his wife's ass, because she's a judge. Okay? Absolutely. They're criminals. Okay? It's organized crime in the system. So, when I leave on any date, possibly even including today's date, to go to any area to meditate, go through my own personal property that I carry with me, or for whatever reason, if you understand what I mean, and there's any problems develop, police showing up, neighbors showing up, homeless men, students, kids, teenagers, anybody, if any event transpires that produces a negative effect, even just the rest for me, or if any of my property is stolen at any area that I go to on any date, it'll be nothing but gang stalking, period, in order to psychologically induce me or to make it appear that other people have a normal appearing reason to call the police, so I can be identified to be at that spot for them. Staged events. So, fellow American citizens, go to Google and type in staged events and gang stalking, which are also called street theaters. This video literally applies for the next 6 months because I've been dealing with this crime now since 2011, the very day I came to San Diego from Connecticut. And I was already all over the internet talking about being gang stalked in Michigan and Connecticut. Okay? There's indisputable evidence all throughout that blog. So how do they know I came to San Diego? Interstate stalking is all over the internet to be directly connected to this crime. It's even mentioned in the manifesto I was talking about. The fact that there's two main syndicates in the United States. One on the East Coast and one on the West. That's right, baby cakes. So if my bike is stolen in the next 6 months, including today when I leave here and go to get my bike, if it's stolen or damaged in any way, it'll be gang stalking, including any law enforcement confiscating it on any date, or using my bike as identification to try and make it appear that it's been seen on certain geographical property more than once. They will do anything and everything. They break the law every day and then use the law against the target. Absolutely. They're not creating the homelessness for no reason. That's what you got to remember. Okay? So, I'm in San Diego, California. I showed a video picture of my cell phone at the beginning of this video for a reason. To isolate my predictions in space and time as a result of showing the date and the time from the cell phone. And using the voice command feature. You know, and before I turned off my other phone, I forgot to show the date on that phone, but it doesn't matter because my tape recorder is also running by date and time. And this video file has a time and date stamp on it. If I'm arrested, assaulted, robbed, raped in the next 6 months for any reason, not just at HA areas, hiking areas, but also throughout and about in the community, it'll be nothing but a staged event. And this absolutely includes the Law Library downtown Front Street, Social Security, Social Services, and Ralph's Grocery Store, and MTS Transportation Services. My name is Leslie Williams. I made this video to inform, to expose the truth. I do appreciate you listening. Please investigate everything that I've stated in this video. Thank you.